The farmhouse stood at the end of a long, winding road, its weathered facade cloaked in the golden hues of a late afternoon sun. Emily and Nate had stumbled upon it during a weekend getaway, enchanted by its rustic charm and the promise of a fresh start. It seemed perfect, a dream come true, until they moved in. From the very first night, an unsettling atmosphere settled over the house, a palpable tension that seemed to thrum beneath the surface. The air felt thick, almost electric, as if the walls themselves were alive with secrets. Emily brushed it off as nerves, the typical anxiety that accompanied such a drastic change in their lives. Nate, ever the pragmatist, laughed it off, insisting that old houses had quirks, and they would soon grow accustomed to them. But as darkness fell, Emily lay awake, staring at the ceiling, the silence of the house amplifying her unease. It began with faint whispers, soft and indistinct, like a breeze rustling through leaves. At first, she thought it was the wind, but as she strained to listen, she realized the whispers were calling her name. Emily. Emily. The sound curled around her, wrapping her in a shroud of dread.
"Did you hear that?" she asked Nate, her voice trembling slightly.
"Hear what?"
he replied, his eyes still closed, his tone dismissive. "It's just the house settling. You'll get used to it."
But as the nights wore on, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They were accompanied by scratching noises, like claws raking against wood, echoing through the walls. Emily felt the chill of fear creeping into her bones, and each time she brought it up, Nate's laughter only deepened her isolation. Driven by a need to uncover the truth, Emily began to explore the house, searching for answers hidden within its creaking corridors. It was during one of these excursions that she discovered the hidden room beneath their bedroom. The trapdoor was cleverly concealed, a mere sliver of wood that had been painted over and forgotten. With trembling hands, she pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase that descended into darkness. The room was small and suffocating, the air stale and heavy with dust. In the center stood a crib, its paint chipped and peeling, the sight of it sending a shiver down her spine. Beside it lay a tape recorder, its buttons worn and faded. Curiosity piqued, she pressed play, and the room filled with the frantic voice of a woman, her words laced with desperation.
"Get out! You have to leave! It's learning! It's replacing us!"
The woman's voice cracked, filled with panic.
"It whispers! It watches! You can't stay here! It wants you!"
Emily's heart raced as the tape cut off abruptly, leaving only the echo of the woman's warning hanging in the air. She felt a wave of nausea wash over her, the weight of the room pressing down on her. She had to tell Nate, but when she rushed upstairs, breathless and wide-eyed, she found him at the bathroom sink, his reflection obscured by the flickering light.
"Nate, you won't believe what I found!" she exclaimed.
But as she turned to show him the tape, her breath hitched. The bathroom door slammed shut, locking her inside. Panic surged through her as she pounded against the wood, calling for him, but the only reply was the sound of her own frantic breathing. When Nate finally opened the door, his expression was one of confusion and concern. But when Emily turned to explain, the hidden room had vanished. The trapdoor was sealed, as if it had never existed. The tape recorder lay on the bathroom floor, the tape still spinning, the woman's voice echoing in the confined space. "It's learning." Days turned into a blur of dread and paranoia. Emily became a ghost in her own home, haunted by the whispers that now felt like a part of her. She heard her own voice in the dead of night, low and conspiratorial, whispering secrets to the walls. Nate, too, began to change. His laughter turned hollow, his eyes clouded with an unsettling glaze. He would sit for hours, staring into space, as if listening to something only he could hear. The atmosphere thickened, a suffocating presence that wrapped around them like a noose. Emily found fingernail marks etched into the bathroom mirror, deep grooves that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. She would wake in the middle of the night to find Nate standing by the window, staring into the darkness, whispering her name, as if beckoning her to join him. The farmhouse, once a sanctuary, had morphed into a prison, its walls closing in around her. Emily felt herself slipping, the whispers becoming a chorus that filled her mind, drowning out her thoughts. She knew she had to escape, but every time she tried to leave, something held her back, an invisible force that wrapped around her ankles, dragging her down. One night, as she lay in bed, the whispers crescendoed into a cacophony, urging her to listen, to embrace the truth of the house. She could feel Nate beside her, his presence a shadow, but when she turned to him, he was gone. The room was empty, save for the darkness that loomed, thick and oppressive. In a moment of clarity, she realized the truth. The house was alive, and it had claimed her. It was not merely a collection of wood and nails, but a sentient being that fed on fear and despair. As she stumbled through the hallways, the whispers grew louder, drowning out her thoughts. She could feel them pulling at her, enticing her to join them, to become one with the darkness. When she finally stepped outside, the air felt different, charged with a sinister energy. She turned back to the farmhouse, a smile creeping across her face as she whispered to the walls, "I understand now." The farmhouse stood silent, but Emily's laughter echoed through the night, a chilling sound that lingered long after she vanished into the shadows. She had left, yet she remained, forever entwined with the malevolent entity that thrived within those walls. The whispers continued, now a part of her, calling to others who might hear their name, warning them of the horrors